Often, when performing a query, you don't need every column returned. Other times, you might wish to change the names of your columns to make your queries clearer. Let's look at how to do this. Query projection. Query projection is primarily about deciding which columns you want or don't want. You do this by explicitly passing the columns you want to the select clause of your query rather than using a star. Let's start by looking at a simple select star query before we modify it. Here it is. You can see it's pulling every column back in. Suppose that you wanted to find only the information on where your users live, perhaps to make a map, and you don't need anything else. Getting all of the columns and throwing away the unused ones in the application would work, but there's a better way. Let's project only the columns we need. This is less information getting sent over the wire and a simpler set of data for your application to deal with. You can also use query projection to change the order of these columns. Let's make city the first column in the query instead of the second. It's just a matter of putting these columns in a new order. And there it is. Aliases. Another thing you can do during the projection is to change the name of the columns you project by using the as clause. This doesn't change the results, but it can help with readability and provide context. For many SQL implementations, including CockroachDB, the as operator isn't strictly necessary and you can simply drop it if you don't need it. Here's the same query, but without the as operator written explicitly. One thing to note, when people talk about filtering out data during a query, there are two terms they use and they're not intuitive. Projection means filtering out, reordering, and renaming your columns, and it happens in the select clause. Selection means filtering your query's rows, and that occurs most obviously in the where clause, so not in the select clause of your query. It's an unintuitive convention, so be aware. Let's review. In this lesson, we looked at query projection, which does three things: filtering for just the columns you need from the server, reordering the columns into the order you'd like, and aliasing, or renaming the columns. And that's what you need to know about query projection.